Grok 4.2 just dropped its public beta, and you're probably wondering if it's worth your attention or if this is just another Elon Musk hype cycle. Well, I'll be straight with you. What's under the hood here is genuinely different from anything else out there right now. Welcome back to AI Verdict, where we do the research so you don't have to.
So let's just get right to it, right? Is this a real architectural leap forward, or is it just more noise? We're going to break down exactly how it works, what the hard numbers say, and what it really means for the future of AI.
Okay, let's dive in. Because the one thing you have to understand about Grok 4.2, what makes it so structurally different, isn't that it's just bigger or faster. It's that it doesn't think alone.
See, when you send Grok a prompt, something pretty wild happens. Instead of one single model trying to figure out an answer, your question gets split across 4 separate, specialized AI agents, and each one attacks your question from a totally different angle, all at the same time.
You know how the best ideas often come from a room full of smart people who kind of disagree with each other, right? You've got a researcher, a numbers person, a skeptic, and someone to pull it all together. Well, that's exactly the dynamic Grok is recreating here, just at the speed of a supercomputer.
And this is the council. First up, you have Harper, the researcher. It has live access to every single post on X. We're talking real-time data, not 6-month-old training sets. Then there's Benjamin, the logic agent. This is your fact checker, running the math, verifying the code. Lucas is the contrarian, and its entire job is to disagree and play devil's advocate. And then finally, Grok itself acts as the coordinator, taking all those inputs, resolving the arguments, and putting together one coherent answer.
Now, I know what you're thinking. 4 agents must mean 4 times the cost, right? But actually, no, because they share the same infrastructure. The real overhead is only about 1.5 to 2.5 times a single call. And what you get in return is a system that drastically reduces hallucinations because you've got these built-in checks for both factual and logical errors.
So the architecture sounds cool, but does it actually work? Well, let's take a look at the hard data, because the proof really is in the performance. And this right here tells you everything you need to know. On this brutally difficult PhD-level test, a single Grok agent gets a pretty dismal score of about 27%. But the moment you switch on that 4-agent heavy mode, the score almost doubles to over 50%. That's not a small improvement. That is concrete proof this architecture is doing some serious work.
And then there's this. A perfect score. 100% on the AIME. A math competition so tough it trips up most humans. And just to be clear, no AI model had ever done this before. This is a first. But this is the result that genuinely blew me away. In a live, 14-day stock trading simulation against other AIs, the average model lost 22% of its money. Grok was the only one that actually turned a profit, posting a 12% return. I mean, that's a test of real-world decision-making under pressure, and Grok won.
And on top of all that, it has this massive context window. Think of it like short-term memory. You can feed it an entire book to analyze. Plus, you have that live X data. It can process images and video, and unlike a lot of static models, it's actually improving every single week.
Okay, the numbers are impressive, for sure. But you can't really have a conversation about Grok without also talking about the AGI claims coming straight from Elon Musk. So let's just tackle that hype head-on.
So, Musk has made some really big claims, like calling Grok 4 better than PhD level in everything. Now, this is where a lot of AI researchers kind of pump the brakes, because that everything part just isn't technically true yet. There are plenty of things any human PhD student can do that Grok just can't.
He also claimed that the next version, Grok 5, has about a 10% shot at achieving true artificial general intelligence. But what's really interesting here is that a 10% chance is also a 90% chance of not achieving AGI. It's actually a much more measured claim than his public persona might suggest.
So here's the bottom line. While the progress is absolutely real, AGI means matching or surpassing humans at all cognitive tasks. And Grok 4.2, well, it just isn't there yet. It has documented weaknesses in vision, rock coding, and that kind of open-world common-sense reasoning that we humans do without even thinking.
Okay, so let's zoom out and put this all together. If you're someone who actually uses these tools for your work, when should you reach for Grok instead of something else?
It's actually pretty simple. For complex reasoning, advanced math, or any question that needs up-to-the-minute information, Grok is the undisputed leader right now. That X integration gives it an edge no one else has. But if you're writing raw code from scratch or doing deep image analysis, it's still outclassed by competitors like GPT-4 and Claude. And then there's the tone, which, depending on what you're doing, can be either a huge asset or a real liability.
So let's circle all the way back to our original question. Is it a real breakthrough, or is it just hype? You know, the most honest answer is that it's a bit of both. The whole AGI framing is definitely overstated, but the underlying multi-agent architecture, that is a genuine, measurable breakthrough that is producing some seriously superior results. What Grok 4.2 really proves is that this new way of thinking actually works. It's changing the frontier of what AI reasoning can do. But it also leaves us with an even bigger question for the future. Is a council of AIs debating each other the true path to general intelligence? Or is there still some fundamental piece of the puzzle that we're all still missing?